Welcome back. Welcome back. Week 6 recap. Hope everyone is doing well. Start off this week. No championship game has ever been decided by less than 30 points. I was thinking about that this last week, and pretty crazy to think that we've had 3 championship games and nobody's ever really made it much of a game. It's been blowouts every time. Next, Fear Boner looking to make it 3 years in a row for waiver wire moves, trying to be the biggest and the best he can be. Last 2 years, his transactions were at 43 and 68 last year. Already this year, I think he's got well over 30. Going to be a strong year for him. Not sure if he'll make the playoffs, but looking like he's going to shatter his record of 68 next year. Something to keep an eye on. Next, last year, Maximum Wage was the first person to ever have the most points scored in an entire year, as well as have the most points scored against him in an entire year. Thought that was kind of interesting. Let's dive right on into recap for the games last week. First game, we have Turdbirds and Lake Placid. Looks like Turdbirds dropped his 4th straight, disappointing day for his wide receivers, and really just for the most part, just kind of ho-hum. Nothing terrible, just not good. Lake Placid, great running back production for the first time in quite a while. Still dreaming of the playoffs, gets him to 2-4 and within shouting distance of the final spot. Next be myself and Outfield Fly Rule. Just couldn't do it on an off week with Breeze and Graham. Outfield Fly Rule still put up 122 points. Very consistent. Rogers, just insane. 6 touchdowns. There's really not much else to say. Guy killed it. Decker and Green also had a great week, but 6 touchdowns is hard to overcome. Next, we've got Go Panthers and Chuck Person. Chuck Person losing again. Go Panthers getting the win to stay within 1 game of Outfield Fly Rule. Below average week really for Go Panthers, but luckily he played one of the worst teams in the league in Chuck Person. So don't take that personal, Rife, but it's just hasn't gone your way this year. Can't win them all. Only 2 guys on Chuck Person had over 10 points, which is really bad. Unfortunately, somebody did worse this week. I'll get to them in a second. Next, we have Max Wage and Club Ibiza. Max Wage getting the win on that, moving to 4-2. Has a kicker and defense, just killed it over the week. Cruised for the victory. Club Ibiza. Dez blew up for the first time this year. Maybe that's good things for you in the future. Hopefully it is. But really no production from your running backs, your tight ends, your defense, or your kicker, which is pretty much your whole team. So next we have Get Lucky, Sack of Hammers. Jordy was in fuego. Just solid week by him, finally killing it. And that was the guy I had on my team last year, finally showing up this year. Obviously, should have played Daryl Richardson. Great player. Don't know why he didn't play him. Instead, he played Jaquiz Rogers. Poor mistake on your part. You never sit Daryl Richardson. Sack of Hammers, Sean Green, 34 points on the bench. Stafford and Steven Jackson, should have played them, and you possibly could have won. Next and last, we had the worst game of the week. Fear Boner versus Halfway Crooks. Was excited about it. Jet, you did not hold up your end of the bargain. I know you wanted to win that badly, but 54 points? That is just embarrassing. Only 1 player over 10 points, and that was, I think, your kicker. So that's pretty bad. But Fear Boner getting the win with an off week for you as well. MJD was on bye, got the win. But next week, this is separation week, ladies and gentlemen. If you take a look at the games, you're going to see that almost the top 2 and then the next 2 and then the next 2 are all playing each other. Kind of cool how that worked out. We'll start off with the worst game of the week, Lake Placid versus Sack of Hammers. Going to go with Lake Placid on that one. Too many bad matchups for Sack of Hammers. Martin and McFadden going to get off this week. Halfway Crooks, Chuck Person, next game. I'm going to go with Halfway Crooks on this one. Lynch versus San Fran, Sproles versus Tampa Bay equals not good. Freeman versus New Orleans, Felix versus Carolina equals great. That is going to be the difference. Next, we have Turd Birds, Club Ibiza. Going to go with Ibiza on this one. Just doesn't have Murray. Hurts pretty bad, but Forte is going to hurt him even more. So we'll see what happens there. Get lucky, Fear Boner. Close game coming up. Going to go with Fear Boner on this. High scoring. Be extremely close. Could be my prediction for the best game of the week. Next, Chilltown, myself versus Max Wage. If I don't win this week, it's just embarrassing. I'm just going to say that right now because Max Wage has no McCoy, no Charles, and no Brent Selleck. He's going to be playing a couple scrubs, and if I can't win this, then I may just hang up my cleats, which after I said that, I'm sure I will lose. Now, last game of the week, possibility, go Panthers versus the top 6-0 team in the league, outfield fly rule. A.K.A. Beams Machine, A.K.A. L.A. Rams. Atlanta versus St. Louis. Can Beams bring home another win over Atlanta? That's who Chad's team is, and we'll see what happens there. But I'm not quite sure. It's going to be a lot of bitterness in this game. I feel a lot of heat coming from it. Told Beams I wouldn't pick against him, so I'm not going to until he loses. I'm going to go with him. Just say this right now. I like Chad's chances, but I promised Beams I wouldn't pick against him. So it's going to be a barn burner, baby. Have a good one. See you next week.